Temporary power planning. This is something that we have to do on every project, whether we're tying into an existing transformer or we're doing a power drop off of a power pole or whatever we're doing. We have to run power to a remote site, to a site downtown, or to a normal metropolitan area. Wherever we are, we've got to have power, right? For the spider boxes inside the building, for the temporary lighting, for any of our other power needs, either for the bathrooms or the trailer, and we've got to have it early on. So having this kind of planning and making sure that we're tracking the steps is key. Now we have to have a plan, but we also have to have a timeline. And in addition to that timeline, we have to have the resources and the right contacts and execute well so we have power on time. What I'm about to show you on my computer is exactly that. The plan that we put together, the timeline intact, and then exactly what we're looking at from a temporary power standpoint on an actual map and how you can approach this and get your temporary power on time. So if you want to check this out on my computer, stay with us in this video. Okay, everybody, so I'm super excited to have you on the Miro board over here because I'm going to take you through a couple of things when it comes to planning for temporary power. And these are real sketches. And I do want to make one more point one more time that does this mean that we do it perfectly? Absolutely not. Do we want feedback? Absolutely. Do you have a better way? You possibly do. But I definitely want to make sure that we're sharing this. We don't do enough sharing in construction. We don't do enough of this to where we're sharing best practices. So if you like this video and you're like, wow, they did a great job, or if you're like, they can do better, either way it's lean because we're learning from each other. So one of the things that I want to talk to you about, number one, is that anytime you're doing any of these efforts, you've got to have a plan, a timeline, and a sketch. And I'm going to show all of those to you right now. Let me come over here and show you the plan first and foremost. So this probably doesn't look as fancy to you as some of the sketches, but I will tell you that our engineers, when they were creating their temporary power plan, this is a combination of talking to electricians, a little bit of ChatGPT, going through the individual steps. And when I first saw these, I was like, that's a lot of text. But when you go through here, it says, okay, here's the regulatory requirements, pre-installation requirements, the system design overview, the installation process, how we protect the actual system, the power supply stability, safety measures, how we inspect it, the actual timeline from a general standpoint. So this text is crucial. Now, for those of you who are like, no, Jason, I'm a genius at scheduling temporary power, hey, that's great. But we included this in our bid packages. People know what we're doing. The electricians are on board. We've been able to email this to a couple of folks, and they're like, wow, great. That's super cool. We know exactly what you're going to do, and it was complete with a sketch. So we have a plan. We know what we're doing. Now, let me go ahead and real quick just take you over here to the timeline. In our production plan in Intact, which I've been constantly showing you, you'll see that we have our temp water timelines and our temp power, right? So obviously this is logic tied. We don't need temporary power immediately for the site work over here, but we definitely need it for foundation. So that's where the logic tie is. By the way, all of this logic exports to Primavera P6, Microsoft Project, Excel, whatever you would want. But the bottom line is we have sign agreement, the approval process with APS, permitting, installation, inspection, meter setup, the whole nine, right? So the power company will be able to come in, set with our supplier, actually, with our trade partner, set up the service entry section, pull the feeders, get us live for temporary power, and make sure that we're all jamming. So we have the timeline part, right? I said plan, timeline, sketch. Let me take you back over here. So let me talk to you about the sketch. Now, I keep some of these images, and I am real about that. I'm not actually lying to you. I keep some of these a little bit fuzzy because sometimes I don't want you to see all the details. Sometimes I don't want you to get worried about the details, and I just want you to understand the overall concept. This image is intentionally just a skinchy bit fuzzy. I don't want you to take anything exact from here. I would just want you to understand the overall concept. So the sketch here was given a legend There were notes that basically summarized the overall plan over here to the right, which I liked. The general timeline, which has been plugged into the production plan on Intact. But here's basically what we did. Let me go to my little arrow here. Is we worked with an electrician and said, okay, this is probably where we're going to tie in with the City of Buckeye and APS. This is where we need to set our service entry section. We'll initially need temp power for phase 1, temp power for phase 2, temp power for phase 3. This is where we need to basically bring the power into our laydown areas. This is where we need to bring them into the buildings for spider boxes and temp lighting. And having this sketch, in addition to analyzing where all the transformers were, allowed the trade partner to identify the capacity required by the temporary power system itself. And then we tell that to APS. APS actually reached out the other day. It was like, okay, we know what we need to do to size it. We know how much power you need. We know what timeline you're looking for. And then the other thing that they asked was, which was kind of neat, they said, what's phase 1, what's phase 2, what's phase 3, what are the durations, so they could plan that and make sure that they could accommodate us. So if you go back through this whole process, we made a plan right here. Too many words, possibly, but it gets everybody on the same page. Okay. Then a timeline. It's all plugged in here so that we're starting at the right time. And then a sketch that makes sure that we have everything dialed in and that other people can review. Now, here was the key thing. We didn't have electricians on board at the time, so we were able to do a little bit of early procurement, get the electricians on board, issue an LOI, and then boom, they immediately review our temporary power plan. So here's what we'll do. We'll give you, actually, I don't mind linking you to the document, to the drawing, to the timeline. Please give us feedback if you have it. But I'm going to leave these with you and turn this into a little bit of a blog post. But bottom line is, if you're new to the job site, typically a project engineer will be assigned this, field engineer, assistant super. Go make a plan, use your resources, make a sketch, get your timeline, and you'll be jamming and ready to go, because now you'll see as a group, know as a group, act as a group, work as a team, and you can knock it out of the park. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.